don't see anybody watching yet. But just so you know, this is my first ever live stream. So there might be some issues with the audio or just clumsiness of me doing this for the first time. So if anybody is out there, you want to let me know where you're from. Okay. I see one person that I know, Active Trader Society. What up, bro? How are you? I'm just going to be kind of sitting here working on some of the stuff. I've been on like a Van Halen kick lately. So, and also at any time, if it sounds like maybe, you know, like my voice audio is distorted or I'm not loud enough, just kind of let me know in the comments, you know, how it sounds and whatnot. So, all right, we got the Hoosier State, Indiana. What's up, James? How are you, man? So anyway, like I was saying, I've been kind of on a Van Halen kick a little bit lately. And all right, voice is clear. Great. I've been working on the solo to Panama, and I realized I got some little parts to work out on it. So I'm gonna try playing along with the track and just see how I do. I might stink it up at first because I'm not warmed up, but I'm just gonna try it anyway and see what happens here. So let me see. That might be too loud. Haha! I gotta warm up a little bit first on that. Of course, it would help, I guess, also if I remember it. So, any of you guys that are out there, by the way, if you've got questions or any tips for me for live streaming, go ahead and hit me up with those. You know, you want to talk gear, music theory, anything like that. Like I said, I'm just really kind of wanting to practice a little bit and just kind of test out this live streaming thing. So let me kind of get back into this Panama, and I'll try to keep an eye open on the chat bar down here. I'm gonna try to play with the track again. I'm gonna trim off some of the stuff before the solo. really wasn't trying to learn the entire song. I think I got a lot of it down, but just kind of goofing on the solo a little bit. It's still, I really just kind of started working on it last week. I still don't have it completely under my fingers yet. Of course, you know, of course, James, or no, so Active Trader Society says Eddie is the GOAT, and he absolutely was the GOAT, which just means his stuff tends to kick my butt, my fingers, a lot. So let's try that again and find. All right, so got some work to do on that one. Another solo I've been working on is Warren DeMartini's solo in Round and Round. I don't know, I'm just big 80s kick lately, so it's tricky too. Oh. It would help if I could play the darn song. No, I can't play it right now. Let's see. Fingers are definitely not warmed up enough for sweep picking. Don't do that there. So you know what I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna try to play along with the easiest Van Halen song, Running with the Devil, and try to play along with the whole thing here. I haven't done this in a while. Let me bring it up real quick. Let's see how I do here. Brain fart. Ooh, a little rusty. A little rough around some of the edges there. Shane, thank you. Josh, hi. That's cool. I've actually got some people coming in and commenting. That's awesome. I think usually like people that do live streams for the first time, especially if they've got like a low amount of subscribers, I think I'm only around like 3,000 subs. You wonder if anybody's even going to be, you know, checking it out and wondering what you're all about. So it's cool. Thanks everyone for checking it out. Very cool. Shane, you're in a cover band. What kind of cover band do you play in? Just like rock, metal, and you got it though. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, but what kind of songs do you guys cover in your band? Megadeth. Josh is like, I need some Megadeth. So I teach guitar full time, and we do a concert for my students. Now keep in mind, all my students are like younger than 18. So we do an annual concert at a really, really cool venue every year. And the one that's coming up in February, we've got me and a student are playing Hangar 18 with a backing track. Now my student, I mean, he's a phenomenal shredder. So he's got, gosh, I want to say it's at least 98% of Marty's solos in that dialed in. I, on the other hand, have been kind of relegated to Dave's parts on that one. And it's a tricky song. I mean, a lot of, I don't know. When I think of like Dave Mustaine, I don't think, I mean, I thought he wrote some pretty decent solos, but some of his stuff's really unorthodox. It's just a little bit outside the box. Let me switch guitars real quick and I'll kind of show you a little bit of some of the nonsense I've got to learn of Dave's parts. Just put this right there. That last guitar, that Charvel, is in E flat, so I go to one that's E standard. So in Hangar 18, let's see if I remember it here. So I always have trouble with this part because it's so stretched out. Of course, I figure if I can learn this, I could probably play Eddie's solo and Ice Cream Man. Something like that. I haven't played it all week, so that's. I think that's. What happened? We just had a little glitch on my camera. I think that's his second solo. Dave's first solo in Hangar 18. He's like. I kind of need to be warmed up on those to get them. And then the last thing he plays is this crazy like pattern that ascends in like minor thirds, kind of like every 3 frets up. Yeah, definitely got to be warmed up on a song like that. So, Josh says, sick. I love that song. It is an amazing song. I tried to talk the student into playing Tornado of Souls because I really like that one too, but he chose Hangar 18. Yeah, and I know what it's like, man. Marty's solos. I had kind of started working on some of them. It's like, I forget the next note after that. I don't even remember. And then he's got that. I don't even remember it. Yeah. So like I said, that's my student playing those parts, so I don't have those down. All right, so let's see. Hold on. So trying to keep up with some of the comments here. So Josh. Active Trader Society. I could play better in Dave Mustaine. Well, I know your background, man, who you used to play for, and and I've heard you play. You're quite the amazing guitar player. So like a diminished riff, but yet somehow it sounded kind of major. The Trader's like, I'm currently working on the Z diminished augmented Pythagorean scale. Bro, that sounds super exotic, man. That is not a thing. No. If you know, you know, right? So, anyway. Yeah, the Megadeth stuff is super, super tricky. That's for sure. There's a break in it that they do a harmonized run. And I can't quite get it clean and up to speed. I mean, we make it work, but it's a very, very tricky run that I'm not satisfied with it at all. So. Active Trader, but in my mind it is a thing. So, yeah. Oh, Josh, you're talking about that. So I think that's Dave's part. And then Marty's what is that harmonized? It's like, I can't even remember. I'd have to look again. What the interval is that the harmony is. So yeah, cool. Yeah. We do kind of make some little tweaks to it just to kind of make it all work out. Like there's one spot after that run that I think I'm sliding into a note that Marty's supposed to be playing right there. But if you listen, we think that there's like an overdub during that part where Marty bends a note. And it doesn't seem like it fits in the timing of it where Marty could have gotten from that lick into that bend. So we think maybe that's kind of like overdubbed into it or something, but I don't know. And this guitar is out of tune, so I'm gonna put this one back down. Actually grab my trusty Kramer here. So Josh, on those harmonies, it's like this student I have, and it's like I don't know. Every so many years, I get this unicorn student that is just unbelievably motivated and driven to learn it. And he's a young kid. He just turned 18, And he's pointing out stuff that I probably wouldn't have paid attention to, but he's like, if you listen closely here, I put the track into a piece of software called Transcribe, where I can slow it down, and we kind of listen to it, and I'm really got my ears up against the monitor. I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe. So I don't know. His ears are maybe a little more in tune to some of that stuff than me, but he listens to all this other stuff, like this band Necrophagist, if that's how you say it. I don't really get into that kind of stuff. It's a little bit too I don't know, like Cookie Monster screaming kind of vocals for me. The riffs are cool, you know, the melodies and harmonies are pretty sweet. So JC Guitarist, cool guitar. What year is it? This is an 87 Kramer American Pacer Custom 2. So kind of got a long story on how I ended up with another Kramer. So yeah, I agree. It is freaking sweet. I occasionally get on Reverb and check to see if there's any other ones, but apparently maple board Kramers, especially, you know, ones that say American on it, which, you know, they're not American, actually made by ESP in Japan and then just assembled in New Jersey. They're super hard to come by. So what am I playing through? So the amp, I don't know if you can see it there. It's a 100-watt Marshall Plexi into a 412 cabinet. Sitting on top of it's a JCM 800 100-watt that I've got running into a 212 cabinet. My board right now, that distortion sound is a Rev G3. Occasionally gets on reverb. Yeah, I've been in there quite a few times. We just bought a new house and furnished that new house, so I'm guitar broke right now, and the wife says I can't buy any more guitars for a little bit. And then in addition to the Rev G3, for like a little bit of reverb, I've got a Keeley Caverns reverb and delay pedal, and I've got a Boss GE7 Analog Man modded graphic EQ. And I also have a Chandler tube driver, which has definitely got a totally different sound. And then also for like my clean sounds, normally I'm playing through a 1974 Fender Twin that I use exclusively just for clean sounds. But a couple weeks ago, me and another student were rehearsing the solo for Freebird, and in the middle, we're playing with backing tracks. So in the middle of it, I hear the Twin just making a crazy god-awful sound. And so I go over and I shut it down, and then shortly after I smelled like burning. I'm like, oh man. So after that student left, I unplugged it, then pulled the fuse out, and the fuse had popped. And then come to find out, one of my power amp tubes took a crap. So I got another set of power tubes coming get it retubed. I think the preamp tubes are still good, but so it's currently out of commission. So I'm playing through, I've got a Roland Jazz Chorus JC120 that I've had since, gosh, I got it, it's a 1980 model, and I got it in the early 90s. And I've been using that amp a long time, but I do prefer tube amp sound for sure. That's true. Well, I think in a live, so Roland Jazz Chorus with the 10-inch speaker sounds better. I have one of those with the 210s. I think that sounds better for recording than the 212s do, but I don't know. There's just something about in a live setting, 12-inch speakers just sound better to my ears live. I don't know why. I just can't get the tone out of the 210s live that I can with the 12s. Maybe it's all in my head. It's got to all be in my head. I don't know. Yeah, for sure. So what I need to do is get like maybe a little 210 cabinet that I can run, you know, something else into it, like a tube amp, you know, maybe one of those little Kowalski, what are those things, like half a watt or something? It's like the little baby plexi. So here's what I'm thinking. I want to get into doing live streaming every week. So I'm thinking I've got an opening right now on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. I couldn't do it tonight because I had to last minute book a student from 8 to 8:30 tonight. But I'm thinking I could easily block off like at least an hour Tuesday nights from 8 to 9. Kind of just keep practicing some and, you know, answer questions, especially on theory and stuff, because I spent many years in school for music theory, so I probably know more than I should, especially ridiculous stuff like, you know, writing for string quartet or brass quintet and just odd, silly stuff like that. But anyway, so about all I remember of any Billy Gibbons. Hold on. Damn, there is 13 watching. That's good for a first stream. Hey, anything. I would have been happy if one person would have checked in and been like, hey, what's up? You know, but to have that many people on my first time, I'd say that's a success. You know, that's straight up metal right there. And of course, it's like I feel like I'm kind of like all over the place. Like no real sense of direction that I'm trying to head in. I said I was going to practice, you know, some. So so JC Guitarist, is that your main guitar or something else? So you're talking about the Kramer. I tend to, if that's the one you're referring to, I do tend to play this one a lot, just because I think it's such a versatile guitar for a lot of the stuff that I'm working on. It really just depends. I do like guitars, especially that have a humbucker, 2 singles. I just think that's, to me, versatile, because I can get kind of like Strat-like tones between the neck and the middle pickups, and then with the humbucker and the coil tap, you know, I can kind of fake it on a neck single coil sound a little bit. But I do have Strats. I'm down to one Gibson right now. It's a ES335, which is cool. And of course a few of these shredder type guitars. So so going back to some of these other comments here, Josh, play any VGM. God, I feel like a moron right now. What's VGM? Sorry, I should know this. As soon as you say it, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm a moron. Pull out the double neck. Yeah, I wish I had one. BandLab. Otonoke Melody. I am not familiar with that. What is that? I'm getting like a bunch of text messages here too. Yes, yes. Cool. Oh man, Hendrix. I've always sucked at Hendrix. In fact, I get scared of Hendrix just because I feel like his sense of timing and rhythm I just ain't got it. So, you know, I mean, I can play simple stuff like, you know, I'd have to really sit down. And I keep saying, and I've been, this is almost 40 years now, I've been playing this silly thing that I'm going to sit down, I'm going to really learn some Hendrix. But as soon as I start getting into it, like something like Little Wing or any of those songs, I tend to kind of get, like I'll start working on it and then I get distracted. So, and yeah, I did help like one of my students who she played Voodoo Child at 12 years old. She freaking smoked it. It was unbelievable how good she did with a backing track in front of a bunch of people. So it helped her get ready for that concert a few years back. So yeah, Diddy's disciple, love Kramer's. I do too, man. There's something about, I don't know, I guess the neck on this thing is kind of more like a Fender C profile. For the longest time, I was playing like Ibanez RGs and Steve Vai Gem type guitars. I've got the real flat back. And once I finally got this Kramer, I realized how much I like that fuller, rounder neck. So anytime I pick up like an Ibanez RG, I'm like, this thing feels weird because it's so flat and wide. So yeah, Kramer's, man. It's like I'm constantly on the lookout for, and it's got to be a maple board Kramer for me. I don't know. I just like maple fingerboard Kramer. So I'm constantly looking. So Jay, you know, ESP is still your favorite. Well, you know, these early Kramers, you know, they were made in the ESP factory. So that's kind of cool, the connection between ESP and Kramer, since Kramer didn't actually make their own bodies and necks. Basically, all they did was assemble parts, you know, that were made overseas. So. Yeah, I follow, like, I'm on that, like that vintage Kramer group on Facebook, and love seeing what people are picking up, especially some of the like the custom graphic stuff. You know, those are super rare, super expensive. There's a few sitting on Reverb that I've got saved to favorites that are just, they're not getting any cheaper, and of course they're becoming harder and harder to find. Yeah, Jay, I think they did make the Sustainer pickup. I saved like all of my vintage guitar magazines from like the late 80s and into the like first part of the 90s. And I've got like bins full of like Guitar for the Practicing Musician, Guitar World, Guitar School, Guitar Player, you know, all the publications that were available. And I still thumb through those and look at those old Kramer ads from the late 80s and right into the early 90s, just before they went out of business. And I think there's a couple of ads for those Sustainer pickups. So yeah, Kramers are totally cool, man. It's just, I'm at the point now where it's like guitars like this, or like this, you know, toothpaste Charvel, I don't know, there's just something about, there's a cool factor to them that, don't get me wrong, I love Gibsons and Fenders. I love them all, but there's just something about guitars like this you just don't see every day anymore like you used to. It's like everybody has Ibanez's, or they have Fenders, or they've got Les Pauls and things like that. So I definitely love just rarer, you know, especially 80s shred guitars, man. They're just so cool. And it's like, I don't even care what people think. I'd show up to a wedding playing one of these things and, you know, I'd be happy with it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, Fernandez Sustainer. Yeah. Never knew anybody who had one of those, and in high school I worked at a music store, but I don't know if we carried Fernandez stuff, so Elias, what's up? How are you? Glad you're here. So Jay, what am I running through? I'm actually got a mic'd cabinet back here. So guitar going into a Rev G3, which is going into a Boss GE7 that's been modded by Analog Man. Going into a Keeley Caverns for some reverb. Going into a 100-watt Marshall Plexi. And all of that is being controlled. I don't have an attenuator or anything. So I'm really like harnessing, keeping the Plexi, the 100-watt Plexi at bay with a volume pedal, Morley volume pedal. So 100-watt Plexi in a small, bedroom-sized studio is it's a bit overkill, and I'm sure, I'd probably annoy my wife, if I cranked it anymore. So Hendrix, baby, do you listen to BB King? I have, and I go through weird phases. So all of last year, what year are we in now? We're in 24. So 2023, man, I was on a huge like blues and classic rock kick. Because I always felt, I was into shred for the longest time, and I felt like my pentatonic stuff just sucked. I'm like, how do guys like Clapton and BB and heck, even Eric Johnson use pentatonic primarily and make it sound like that? And here I am, I feel like I've got to use all these 3-note per string, 3-note per string scales to get it to work. But I felt like that was kind of maybe more of a crutch than anything. So I spent a whole year just straight up pentatonic scales, blues scales, things like that. And, but yeah, I don't listen to them all the time because I go through weird phases. Now I'm kind of back in like this 80s shred stuff. So, Rat, Van Halen, bands like that. So, name please. Yo, hey, how are you? Okay, yeah, Angus Young and Tony Iommi, right? So it's like, yeah, for sure. So if it seems like it glitches, my camera sometimes, it's like an older Canon camera. It just clicked off, so, and it came back on. So if you see like a glitch, let me know. Yeah. Yeah, of course Angus Young, man, and Tony Iommi. I mean, geez, the masters. Those are the maestros right there. Took me the longest time to realize that, though. Once I heard Steve Vai, the Flexible album, and then Passion and Warfare, it was, that's all I wanted to listen to. It's all I wanted to be. Steve Vai. I was obsessed with Steve Vai. And, I mean, he's a great guitar player, but I kind of cut off like all these other guitar players that I should have been like really spending time listening to and learning their stuff. So yeah, George Lynch, Mr. Scary himself right there. Preston says, should I buy a Chibson? Well, you might have a hard time coming across one right now since they just did that huge seizure of what was this crazy amount of them. They've got them all on display during that press conference. It was pretty impressive to see that many guitars all in one place. Yeah, you might have a hard time buying one. I don't know. I've never shopped for one. I follow Chibson on Instagram and on Facebook because I think their ads are hysterical. They got the best marketing, campaigns, I think, of any company. I know they're just goofing, but they definitely make me laugh. Yeah, Preston, you should check that out if you didn't already know about that. So it was just a few days ago. Big bust. I mean, it made national news. So. Yeah, leave it to the federal government to, ruin anything fun, right? You just can't have any fun anymore, before the government gets involved. So, I don't know. Yeah, totally, Preston. I mean, it's you find the videos on YouTube where it's like there's I think the chief marketing officer for Gibson, some lady, and another Gibson executive are there, and they're very serious about it. I rightfully so because you got to think how many counterfeits, especially like I think Fenders are probably one of the most counterfeited guitars. You can go onto that what is that? AliExpress, and I was looking at the Yngwie Malmsteen signature Strat for it's like $200, and it looked legit. Yo, Martin, what's going on? How are you? What up? Yeah, the Fender ones the counterfeits are getting really good. I would be hard pressed. I probably wouldn't be able to detect the real one versus the counterfeit these days because they're getting so crafty with them. To me, that's the problem with like guitars that A, have a bolt-on neck, B, have a water slide decal for the logo, not only for the logo, but also the serial number, on the back of the headstock on some of the newer ones. Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting Active Trader Society, so yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. I'm gonna have to get disconnect here soon though. But yeah, I've gotten quite a few likes on this. And I'd say all in all for my first live stream, it's pretty good. So hopefully next week I'll have maybe a little bit better sense of direction. Of course, I might just be in here practicing. you know, and if people want to check in and say hey and, you know, ask questions or anything like that, kind of like they did tonight, then man, that would be totally cool in my book. So, you know, either way, this was a lot of fun. Just kind of getting to play guitar a little bit and talk to other guitar players. All right, Preston, I made this parts caster from all licensed parts, all nitro, okay, cool, and all of that, but I swear if I put a Fender decal on it, it would be impossible to see a difference between that and a custom shop Strat. Yeah, for sure. So, funny story though, Preston, I always wanted, I was interested in the Inve mounts, just scallop fingerboard in general, and I was like, well, I don't want to drop $2,000 or, you know, whatever, even, heck, I don't even want to drop $1,000 on a Inve Strat if I didn't like it. So here's what I did. I bought a Mexican body, and it was actually the Hendrix body. So the pick guard was a little bit different. It had the neck pickup was flipped around. And of course, if you go on Amazon or on Reverb, you can find like these, you know, counterfeit necks. So it looks like an Inve, right? It says Fender, it's got his signature on it, you know, and it's got the scallop fingerboard and all. Heck, it's even got a US serial number on the back. But you start looking at it closely, like the skunk stripe is not a strip of walnut. It's actually, you can see where the stain that they used bled outside of the masking tape. And then the neck profile, it's not a C profile like an Inve one. It's a straight up just, I don't know what it is. It's like a baseball bat. It's horrible. I mean, I've gotten used to playing it. But it's, and I even put a, like the Seymour Duncan YJM Fury pickup in the back. So, I mean, it's okay. But now I think I really want the legit American-made Strat, Inve Strat. Yeah, no, I mean, it's like, if you didn't know Inve Strats, then you'd be like, oh, wow, you know, it's an Inve Strat, but no, it's a knockoff neck. I think I got the neck on Amazon for 75 bucks, but then I had to spend like 200 bucks to get the frets leveled. I had a brass nut made for it and do some other tweaks to it just to get it to where it would play, because as soon as I put it together, it had so many dead spots in it, and it wouldn't play, so. Nice. Sean plays guitar. What's up, man? Martin, yeah, nowadays counterfeits are getting pretty good. Imagine how it'll be in like 5 years. Yeah, we're going to be in trouble because places like Reverb and eBay or even Marketplace. Actually, one of my students had contacted me. They were looking at it was a Paul Reed Smith, and they just don't know, the student doesn't know a lot about Paul Reed Smiths, and the seller was saying that they wanted, it was like 800 bucks for this PRS, and he said it was a like a custom 10 top 24 fret, and that they retail for around like $4 or $5 grand. And I said, send me the link for it. And I looked at the pictures. It's one of those PRS CEs, bolt-on neck. And I was like, look, brand new, they're like 600 bucks. And this guy's trying to pull a fast one on you because you don't know any better. And I wasn't a counterfeit PRS, but still he was trying to pass it off like it was, you know, one of the custom 10 tops. I love a good imposter caster. Yeah. Can't beat the price on a lot of them too. Yeah, Fender Preston has been making their own counterfeits for years. They're just called Squires. Gender. Imposter caster. Should have made a legit Mexican version of that, but that's just me. So, you know, it's funny. I've been looking at the EVH Frankenstrats. I don't know. Like, I'm on this Eddie Van Halen kick lately, and it's like, oh, maybe I should get one of those Frankenstrats. You know, they're like, what are they, $2,000? But they're made in Mexico. They're not even USA made. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to spend $2,000. And I know that, well, I don't know if they'll be worth any money or not. And I'm pretty sure that, like, Fender owns that company, because one of my students has the 5150 amp, and it says FMIC, I think, on the back, Fender Musical Instruments Corporation on the back. So if they're making that, they're probably making the guitars too in their Mexico factory or something. I'm all for everyone getting out there and getting counterfeits for themselves. I have a pretty hard time with dudes try to sell them as the real deal. That's my only opinions on it, really. Yeah, so when I made a video on me building this, you know, knockoff Inve Strat, and somebody had commented saying, well, now you can, you know, sell it as a counterfeit. I said, well, I wasn't ever going to sell it. That was not my purpose for building this. I wanted a scallop fingerboard guitar, but I really wanted to just try it out. I've even bought a 1950s Mexican, just standard Strat neck, and put it on here. But then I realized that I got the wrong fingerboard radius, and it was like the 7.5 or whatever, 7.25, and I didn't like that, so I ended up putting this one back on because I like a flatter fingerboard. Yeah, no way. $2K for made in Mexico. No. Oh, wow. So Preston just got an American Vintage 2, and it's nothing but QC issues. I had to go through 5 of them. Yeah, that sucks. For some reason, the U.S. quality control has been awful for me when I've never had one of those issues from the Mexican plant. Isn't that crazy? You know? And I've got students, they'll come in with a brand new Gibson, and they're like, well, it's got some funny buzzing here and this and that. And I was like, look, even for like $2,000-3,000, the intonation is out of whack. You're going to find buzzing and dead spots. So, yeah, they're all like that now. That's why I don't buy new guitars, really. I'll buy used guitars because I know I'm going to have probably the frets leveled and some other tweaks done to them anyway. So trying to find something that's pre-owned in almost, let's see, I've probably been playing the guitar, I don't know, 37 years now. In that time, I've owned probably around 30 guitars, and I've only ever, that I can remember, bought 2 brand new guitars. Everything else has been used. Yeah, Sean plays guitar. I have a guitar made in every country, and they are all basically fine. China, Mexico, Japan, US, Indonesia. They're all pretty good, and all from random decades. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can roll the dice with any country and get a lemon from time to time, so. One of the ones I sent back, I kid you not, had a lifted fret on the 14th. Was this an American one, Preston? Oh my gosh. No good. No good. Everyone is capable of making a stellar guitar and a POS. Mike is so right on that. What's up, man? $2,400. That's crazy. Told Fender about it, and they kept sending me more because they kept coming in completely screwed. That's annoying. That's definitely annoying. So, all right. Well, check it out, guys. I hate to cut the party short here, but next week, 8 o'clock, Tuesday, you guys are cool with that, I'll be back. And once again, I'll be practicing and, you know, just kind of hanging out like we're doing. Press is like, oh, darn, it just got here. Cool. Thank you for the sub, man. I appreciate that. So check out some of my other videos, you know. So keep in mind, I'm still learning how to do all this YouTube stuff. So, you know, I might have some good videos and some of them I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking on some of those. So. Awesome, Sean. Thank you. Thanks. That's so cool. Guys, I really appreciate everything. To have this many people come by and introduce themselves, and that's awesome. I feel like I just made a bunch of new friends tonight on YouTube. So, yeah. All right. So, till next time, keep rocking on, and I'll see you guys next week. All right, Mike, thanks. All right, Martin, see you guys next week. Later.